Kap-soo, ambassador of South Korea in Bucharest. Welcome to Diplomatic Passport.
Thank you so much, very much for giving me this quite important opportunity.
Peace is a very fragile thing, and the last year we witnessed the fact that even very stable areas like Europe can be affected. What Russia does in Ukraine influence the international relationship. How is this felt in South Korea?
First of all, I can say that Russia's unprovoked invasion against Ukraine, it has sent global shock across the whole world. And I think, as many people argued, we are now entering into a transformative moment. I think we are ushering in a third transformative moment since the end of the Second World War. A Cold War, and after the Cold War, tomorrow's world will be quite different from the world where we have to live in up to now. Even though the distance between Ukraine and Korea is roughly 7,000 kilometers away, but the after effects, the impact will be felt very far and wide in Korea as well. Everything we know until now, the global order, the fundamental values and ideas, everything is turned upside down. We have to put in our efforts, to deal with this new geopolitical crisis. It's absolutely important at this time for the countries and partners to share the same value to go through these difficult times.
Could be going through these difficult times the fact that your government decided to increase almost to 6.8% annually the budget for defense. South Korea is already in the top 10 of the military international ranking, so you really have a strong army and a strong presence in the Indo-Pacific area.
Yeah.
Why these preparations?
I can say that we have to guard against any possible scenarios. Because not only because we are confronting a hostile North Korea, but we are also making very strenuous efforts to contribute to the advancement of universal values, freedom, and common prosperity. Not only maintaining the current defense posture, but also we are making very strongly our diplomatic the efforts to move beyond and to promote global security, stability, and common prosperity.
South Korea has a special strategy when it comes to North Korea. You already mentioned that this country is a threat for your country, but also South Korea is stepping up its military collaboration with Japan and United States especially. What are the worst case scenarios for your region?
It seems that North Korea is stuck in the mire in the difficult choice between feeding its own people or to keep going ahead of their WMD nuclear and ballistic missile programs. And up to now, it seems that they chose weapons over other people, right? Just the last year and this year only, they fired more than 80 ballistic missiles, and we are afraid of they keep going with another 7th nuclear test. So we have to prepare for any circumstances. Our policy toward how to deal with North Korea can be summarized as 3 Ds: deterrence, dissuasion, and diplomacy. 3 Ds. First, deterrence. We have been maintaining very strong and robust defense posture in close lockstep with our ally USA. And we are prepared to do anything to keep North Korea from doing anything further provocative actions. And second, dissuasion. The international community, including my country, should be sending very clear and unified voice to North Korea that they can't get anything from their provocative actions. They should return to the negotiating table. And we have to also very faithfully implement the UN Security Council resolutions imposing severe sanctions against North Korea. And the third, diplomacy. Still, we are very much committed to resolve the North Korean issue through a peaceful and a diplomatic way. Our efforts to do diplomacy is anchored in audacious initiative. The aim for the initiative is to make the right strategic environment for North Korea to have no choice but to stop their provocation and to returning to a negotiation table.
You said that the politics of South Korea means to turn your country into a pivotal state. Your country is a very good partner of NATO in the Indo-Pacific region, but also South Korea has a relationship with China. Does the fact that you work really well with NATO affects your relationship with China?
We are one of the 4 global partners in the Indo-Pacific area, together with Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. We have been consolidated a very strong partnership with NATO. When it comes to China, many people, talking about the great power rivalry. Some people even talking about to see this is a trap. China is our neighboring country, and we have been living side by side with China for the last 4,000 years. I think there are more ample opportunity for further cooperation with China. Because we are facing a lot of new emerging global threats like the climate change, that global challenge should be met with global action. Not a single country can deal with the global challenges. So in that sense, we need to constructively engage with China. We need to keep talking to China to uphold universal values, to keep the rule-based international relations, right, rather than directly confronting them. China is our #1 trading partner. China can play a very important role in deterring North Korea from doing anything wrong, provocative actions, and in urging North Korea to coming back to the negotiating table. So for these very reasons, we also have to engage China in a more constructive way on the basis of the mutual respect and mutual benefits.
But is China really managed to still control North Korea, considering what they do lately?
I regret not to see any actions from UN Security Council since last year, even though North Korea defied the UN Security Council resolutions by firing burst missiles many times, but there was no action from the UN Security Council because of the internal division among P5 countries. But still, because China is the member of the P5 in the Security Council, there are much role to play by China. That is, for that reason, it's very important to keep continuing, to keep talking to China, to urge China to play more constructive role in that area.
We already talked about the relationship among South Korea and NATO, and we have to add to that your country is also delivering military equipment to some NATO countries. We have to recall the visit of our Prime Minister and the Speaker of the Parliament last year in December in South Korea.
Yeah.
What are the results of this visit so far? Are we talking about defense contracts in this case as well?
Last December, the Prime Minister and the President of the Chamber of Deputies, they had many meetings with our global businessmen. They paid a visit, to Busan, the second largest city in Korea. Also, they had very fruitful discussions with Korean speaker and the Korean prime ministers. And one of that is to enhance our substantive cooperation in terms of economic and investments. And that include also the increasing cooperation in the area of defense. When it comes to defense area, I can say to you three things, how similar we are between our two countries. First, we share the same values, fundamental values, democracy, freedom, human rights, and the norm of international norm. Second, we do share the same alliance and same strategic partners. We are also the strategic partners of the European Union, and we have very strong global partner, of NATO, and we are also ally of the USA. Mm-hmm. Third, we are facing very similar security concerns. Korea and Romania are sitting on the very similar geopolitical fault lines. Romania is located in the eastern flank of the NATO and European Union, free world. Korea is also located in the northern tip of the democracies. All these important three similarities, there's a need for us to extend our cooperation further into the security and defense area. That's why our both two countries are now working on how to materialize, how to get concrete results in the defense and security area.
Our countries are also strategic partners for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. South Korea was the first strategic partner of Romania in the Asia mm-hmm. area. Mm-hmm. How is this translated in our everyday life?
There are three categories in bilateral diplomatic relations. The highest form of bilateral relations is the alliance. Second form is the strategic relations. And the third category will be just normal friendly relations. Strategic partnership is a privileged form of bilateral relations. For example, my country has 27 countries out of over 190 countries as our strategic partner. And as you said, Korea was the Romania's first Asian country as the strategic partner. The strategic partnership should extend into more strategic areas, including not only the commercial, economic investment, but also it should be extending to the area of the strategic part, like the defense, or the energy, nuclear, or the renewable energies, or the infrastructures. That kind of thing can be done only by strategic partners, because it is long-term projects, and it is also contributing to the enhancement of manufacturing capacity of each country, right? So a strategic partnership means a lot. But I can say that up to now, our bilateral and commercial and investment area are lagging far behind such a strategic partnership. And that is the area I'm now focusing my work on, bringing our bilateral economic investment area up to the level of strategic partnership.
It's already 1 year since you arrived in Romania as a diplomat representing South Korea. How is your impression so far?
I will not tell about just routine things. It's beautiful or culturally good thing, but I felt a lot deep affection to Romania. Since I arrived here, I paid a visit to the former Romanian ambassador who served in Korea in the early 1990s. He showed me some books. The book is written by a Romanian author, and the book is telling an amazing story, what happened in our bilateral relations 100 years ago. just back in 1919, at the time, Romania, the Romania Mare, was the one of the victor country to attend the Paris conference. At the time, we lost our sovereignty. We were stateless, and we are not entitled to attend that peace conference. At the time, the Korean provisional government, in exile to another country, they sent an official delegation comprised of 3 people. And they arrived in Paris. They knocked every door of the victors' delegation in Paris to plead for our independence. But they were all turned away. Nobody listened to our delegation, an official delegation, right? They were very disappointed. And suddenly, one door opened, and one delegation invited our unofficial delegation to his room, serving teas, And he said to our delegation, "My country also lost our country for a long time, and we just achieved independence and got our state just less than 50 years ago. And I'm sure Korea will gain independence and Korea will rise again." That paragraph was written in the book. The delegation who encouraged our delegation was Romanian delegation. When I saw the book, on the part of the book, I was, totally moved. Right? Yes. So even though our 2 countries has established diplomatic relations just only in 1990, but actually our bilateral relations got further back. Is more than 100 years. And I'm working as the Korean ambassador here in Romania, absolutely to promote our national interest, but also I'm working as ambassador here to pay back what we owed 100 years ago to Romania.